Community colleges aren't prestigious. The education isn't high quality. They're second rate, an option of last resort. We've all heard it, but that's just wrong. You know it, I know it, and the millions of people across our country who have received an affordable, quality higher education at a community college know it. Here's what we know. 35% of America's four-year college graduates complete their degrees because they attended a community college. Over 12% of all 2014 doctoral recipients attended a community college. 12%. And certain community college graduates make higher wages than four-year college graduates. But we all know that, or you wouldn't be here this evening. Thank you, Teachers College, Tom and Susan, for welcoming me back. It was a privilege to deliver the commencement address here in 2010 and to meet with student veterans, actually, back in 2013. But today is distinct and holds a special place in my heart as we celebrate the Community College Research Center's 20th anniversary. The practitioners at CCRC have been leaders in this space beyond 20 years, bringing to light the importance of community colleges to our country and for millions of students. And I'd like to add my voice to thank Jesse for having the vision to foresee the need for this research. And I love you brought your mom. Tells me a lot about you. But, you know, our work is only getting started, and I'll get back to that shortly. We all have our own stories about why we are so passionate about education. You know, I grew up in the 60s. I'm a 60s girl from Philly. And before Joe, the men I dated wore jeans and clogs. And my hair was down past my waist, and some of theirs was too. So when a clean-cut senator asked me out on a date and showed up at my door wearing a suit and leather loafers, I wasn't quite sure. But what we found in one another was a shared sense of responsibility and really a passion to level the playing field. Throughout his career in the Senate and now as Vice President, my husband Joe has fought for the middle class to give all Americans a fair shot at the American dream. That same principle is why I teach at a community college. I teach to give my students confidence so that they know that there's really no limit to how far they can go, because education is the great equalizer. The past 8 years have been an amazing opportunity that really I never even honestly could imagine. Actually, I've been living pretty much a double life since Joe was first elected vice president. One moment, and this is actually a true story, one moment I'm taping a live interview at 7:15 in the morning in the Blue Room at the White House for the Today Show, talking about President Obama's continued support of community colleges. And then that same day, that same morning, the next moment at 7:55 a.m., I'm in my cubicle, like many of you, at Northern Virginia Community College, prepping to teach my 8 a.m. English composition class. Even today, after I left my classroom, I had to change out of my teacher outfit in the lounge at the airport to put on my second lady outfit. Many of my students don't know that I have 2 jobs. For example, at the end of one semester, at the end of the semester, by the way, a student of mine came running into the classroom and said, Dr. B, I saw you last night on the television with First Lady Michelle Obama. And the student said, and I ran into my mother and I said, Mom, my English teacher is on the TV. And she said, that's not your English teacher, that's the second lady. They may not know that I'm married to the Vice President of the United States. But one thing they do know, and that is that I am committed to them, and my first priority is to them. And thank you. As a teacher, I really have loved being part of the Obama-Biden administration, which believes as passionately as I do in education. When we were first elected, and some of you are too young to remember this, I'm sure. You weren't paying attention. But our economy actually was losing 800,000 jobs a month. And we were in the depths of the worst recession since the Great Depression. And from day one, our administration saw community colleges as critical to revitalizing the American economy. I was in the right place at the right time. Because as we all know, community colleges connect the dots. They grant 2-year degrees, provide new skills training for an affordable pathway for those who want to go on to a 4-year university. So in 2010, at the community college where I teach, President Obama came to Nova and signed into law a bill that invested nearly $2 billion in over 700 community colleges. It was really a very proud moment for me, and called for the first ever White House Community College Summit. I'm sure many of you were there. This was our moment. We were putting community colleges front and center. That investment paid off big dividends for our country, building more than 2,500 partnerships between community colleges and employers, and training nearly 300,000 skilled workers. In 2012, I headed out on a community college to career bus tour to shine a light on these innovative workforce partnerships between community colleges and local employers. In 2 days, we traveled 800 miles through 7 cities in 5 states, visiting some amazing, talented students, teachers, businesses, and local leaders. So, but rather tell you about it, you can see the video. We're on our Community College to Careers bus tour, and we've looked at how businesses partner with community colleges.
This helps to solidify what we know is working, and now we're hearing evidence of it as we go out to the colleges and to some of the work sites to hear about the investments in apprenticeship programs and job training that's being offered to these employees as well as students that want to get into these new high-tech careers.
In meant so much to us to have been one of the places that they stopped to focus on community college to careers, because now's the best time to invest in community colleges. We are the future. We're going to be the economic engine that drives our economy. It's more important than ever to have education and training to get those jobs.
You know, the fact that the government has put money into community colleges has opened up so many opportunities for people to get different degrees in fields that they really like. I know that it's been true for me.
Community college gave me an opportunity to get into a profession. I'm working in the emergency room. I'm alongside doctors. There's community colleges everywhere. All you have to do is go in and enroll. You don't even have to know exactly what you want to do. They have people set in place that can guide you into a career.
My name is Adam Dalton. I'm the machine shop instructor. You are at Tennessee Technology Center at Harriman. I was showing them 2 pieces of equipment that were funded by the Department of Labor. That was a Haas computer numerical controlled machining center and a Haas tool room lathe. I have people calling me every week saying I need guys and gals with this skill set, and we need them now. At least once a week I have someone call me.
It's all about jobs. So we're looking at community colleges who have great partnerships with business. For instance, tonight we'll be going to look at Gatorade and what they've done. They've brought hundreds of jobs into this area. So this is what we're talking about, jobs. That's what Americans want. That's what they need.
The technology that Gatorade was bringing to this community, it was technology that we haven't experienced before in our local factories. So the college worked with them to get industrial maintenance training for all employees.
Most of the jobs going to be created in this country from now on are going to require training beyond high school. And retraining in addition to that. The community college is better set to do that.
Well, especially people my age in their 40s and above to do the college experience.
What we're hearing is that community colleges are becoming more adept and more agile at listening to what the needs of the business community is. And we've heard that time and time again, and we're seeing kind of a renaissance, I think, in manufacturing overall. Yes. And that's really important because these jobs are good paying middle-class jobs. We can look at incentivizing more job training in those areas, the high-tech areas, the IT, healthcare, whatever it is, biomedical, and keeping the jobs here. And that's going to help bring back our recovery, economic recovery, and increase employment opportunities for people that are currently looking for work.
By having the Vice President here and Dr. Biden here and the Secretary here, it really says to this community, we are important and you do play a significant role in changing this community. It really does show that there is a national focus on community colleges, and for so many years we sort of were there, but now we have the opportunity to really shine and people are starting to recognize us.
I would like to say that if I had one word to describe the last few days, it would be inspired. It's offering people hope that they can get a job, get training, and support their families, and that's what they're looking to do. And for me, this is perfect because I am a community college professor. I see in my classroom all the time people struggling to try to get an education. And so really, for me, every day I feel like this is just like hope. By partnering with local businesses, community colleges answered the call of our nation to provide a well-equipped and well-trained workforce. That's what's so special about community colleges. So, what's next? By the end of this decade, 2/3 of all job openings will require some form of higher education. Despite all the progress we've made in the last 8 years to make higher education more accessible, too many, you know this, too many hard-working Americans still feel that a college education is out of reach. Rising tuition costs is one key factor. That's why I believe, as does President Obama, that community college should be free for all responsible students. Two years of free community college will allow students to earn the first half of a bachelor's degree or acquire a professional certificate without being saddled with decades of debt. According to the College Promises campaign's first annual report just released last month, since President Obama announced his free community college proposal, more than 36 College Promise programs have launched in cities, states, and communities across this country. There are now 150 programs across 37 states offering some form of free community college. And early research has shown that Promise programs, particularly those offering pathways to a four-year university, can be key to boosting local economic development and increasing the number of people staying in their communities. And the reason is pretty simple, because 90% of our population lives within 25 miles of a community college. We also see more and more people are now giving community colleges a fresh look. For example, Oregon launched its College Promise program this year, and nearly 6,000 new students enrolled in community colleges all across the state. But let's be honest, simply enrolling in a community college isn't enough. Community colleges may be the first to open the door to college for students, but we have to retain students and help them complete their degree. Throughout my visits to nearly 50 community college campuses, I've seen how dual enrollment courses, early college, high school partnerships, mentors, and community service opportunities, as well as other college credit programs, have consistently increased student achievement. If we pair those proven strategies with a College Promise program, I believe we'll be even more successful in keeping students in the classroom through graduation. And that's exactly what I saw in Tennessee, which offers dual enrollment programs for high school students and launched a statewide College Promise program. More than 80% of students who enrolled in the Tennessee Promise in the fall of 2015 returned for their second semester of classes in the spring of 2016. While we don't have all the data we need, I think it's clear that the promise of free community college is making a real difference for thousands of students in every corner of our country. It's especially important for the new majority of students who attend one of America's community colleges who are often older, returning to school while maintaining a full-time job or raising a family, or, as you know, in many cases, both. While our administration has strived to make community colleges more affordable and more attractive for more students to attend college, there's still so much more we can and must do. Because at the end of the day, it's about the outcomes. It's about completion for purpose. It's about getting our students on the right pathway with links to a good-paying job so that they can provide for themselves and their family. CCRC has been on the forefront since day one, tracking and creating the data sets we need to evaluate and to better understand our students. For the past 20 years, you've been providing that data that policymakers need to better understand the ways in which community colleges provide benefits to students that occur really nowhere else in higher education. Because of your groundbreaking research, we can identify the challenges community college students face and paths to overcome them. Because of you, individual colleges and policymakers can make better investments in what works and what doesn't. You have been a champion for community colleges. You literally wrote the book on redesigning America's community colleges to provide a clearer path to student success. But I need to ask you to do more. First, we must document the lived experience of our students. Now, I can see we're on the same page. You know, the experiences that I've seen in my classroom, and really this has just happened to me in the past week, I don't know, just 10 days. You know, I have some just amazing, smart, brilliant students, and I had one student write to me in a journal just this past week that she's a mother, by the way, a mother of 4 kids. 4. She drives an Uber, you know, to try and help make ends meet. And she wrote in her journal, Dr. B, there was one day last week I couldn't come to class because I couldn't pay for parking. Then I had a student yesterday who came to me crying, and she said, I don't know who to talk to, Dr. B. I'm here from Bolivia. And, you know, my mom kicked me out of my home. What do I do? I'm living with a friend, but what do? I don't have anybody to talk to. And then I have some students who suffer from depression or, you know, all the things that we all have rocky times in our lives. And so, as you know, we need to make the case for wraparound services. I've seen it in the lives of my students. These are not just, you know, points of data. These data points have names for me. Second, we need you to keep publishing data on best teaching practices so that community college faculty can use the kinds of teaching strategies that best help their students inside the thousands of individual classrooms. Above all, you must continue to document the case that we can't afford not to invest in community colleges. We've asked a lot of you over the past 20 years, but we can't stop now. The secret on community colleges is out. Our work now is more vital than ever. CCRC, I know that you are up to this challenge. So, what's next for me? People ask me all the time. I'm going to keep teaching. I'll continue serving on the College Promise Advisory Board to work with elected officials and business leaders to make community college free. And with your help, we'll keep the momentum going. We can't afford to put the brakes on. Before I conclude, on a personal note, because this is, I think, my last community college speech, I want to thank you from my heart and from Joe's for your love, your support, your kindness over these last 8 years. You know, there were some dark days for the Biden family this past year, but you lifted us up, honestly. Your support lifted us up, and we couldn't have done it without you, all of you. So serving our country has been such a great honor. It's been the journey of a lifetime. Thank you.